And you're probably wondering why this girl on your screen looks so ratchet right now, but it's because we're going to be doing a foundation routine today. And this is good if, well, I mean, it's good for anybody, but it's more better for people who have acne because I have acne. And really the only reason I'm doing it is because right now my skin is like doing pretty well, so it's not as bad as it is, so it's not so bad to do it without makeup on. But yeah, this is no makeup. And I tried to adjust the lighting to where you could like see the blemishes better, I guess, like so you could see them actually being covered. But I don't know if it's working. I don't know. It was difficult, and I have a crappy webcam, so but like yeah, you can you can see spots spots all over. Even if like they're not pimples, they're just like spots. I just have like red spots. It's just really like annoying, and they're really hard to cover. If you have acne, you know that like it's really hard to cover without using a bunch of products and feeling like you have like tons and tons of makeup on. So we're going to do a routine showing you how I pretty much completely cover my acne, not using really expensive products either, because like we can't all afford like makeup forever and MAC products that may cover better but are like $50 a bottle. So for those people that are on a budget, here is a foundation routine. So enjoy. Okay, so I pulled back my hair so that it's out of my face and so you can see a little better like my blending and around the edges. And the first thing I'm gonna use is Milk of Magnesia, and it's like this is the Kroger brand, and it was $1.77. And this is for oil control. Like if you have acne, you probably have oily skin too, or if like your skin gets shiny throughout the day, this absorbs the oil, or it helps to like absorb the oil. Um, I have like really really oily skin, so like I can't really do anything that's gonna completely mattify my skin unless I bought like a bunch of like really expensive products, which I'm not gonna do. Um, but yeah, this has been working so far. So this is like that like liquid saline laxative, I guess. This is the only thing I use it for, so I just got this bottle. It's really cheap, and they have like the Philips brand too, but it's Kroger. Yeah, and you want to get the original flavor because you don't want to have like strawberry or like mint. I think like those are like the other flavors or something like that, or like cherry. I don't know, but you don't want to have that on your face. So you just want to get plain original Milk of Magnesia, and so just shake it up, and then okay, it comes with this little like cup thing. And a lot of times, like, I'll do this with a foundation brush, but since I'll be using my foundation brush for my foundation, and I only have one foundation brush, I'm just going to use a cotton pad. Sometimes I use my fingers. It really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to pour a little into this cup. You don't really need much. I don't know. Very small amount. I'm going to dip your cotton pad in it, or cotton ball, whatever you're using, and just put a layer of that on your skin. Um, Okay, and then you're just gonna let it dry until it's dry. It'll turn kind of like white, but that'll go away when we do our foundation. Okay. Okay, so now it's dry, and we're just gonna like rub away any like extra white spots. Other than that, it dries decently, like not clear, but it's not like super streaky. It's not gonna leave you with like super duper pale, ghostly white skin, unless you put like multiple layers of it on, then it might. But you kind of want to blend it out around like your hairline and your jawline, because that's what you're gonna have like the most trouble with if you leave it and your eyebrows and like around your nose and your mouth. But other than that, every other thing should be good. And it won't change the color of your foundation. It won't make your foundation any paler than it, or, well, it won't make your foundation like any paler or anything like that. So let's get started. Okay. First things first. Primer. All over face primer. You should always be using a face primer. This is from Avon, and it's called Illuminating Face Perfector. They have like an original one, but I like this one kind of. It's kind of like shimmery. I don't know if you can see it well. It's like kind of shimmery. Yeah, like it doesn't make your face shimmery though. Like it's not like shimmery, like sparkly. I wouldn't say it's just like more like radiant looking. I guess would be like a better term than sparkly or glittery. You won't look glittery. You just look radiant. Okay. So next thing we're gonna be using is this fancy like it's like a concealer palette, and it came with when I like enrolled in the online school, makeup artistry school. They sent me like makeup. It was like a promotional thing, I think. So I got like a ton of makeup, and it was really great. And this is like by far one of my favorites because it has like every color from like porcelain white to like dark deep brown. And that's good because obviously being a white girl, I don't have concealer or foundation for colored skin or really skin any darker than my own. So that was good because then I don't have to go out and buy like every shade of concealer. At least not yet at this very poor state of my life. So that's good. I like that a lot. And it's got like these color correction concealers too. So like we're going to be using a couple of these today too for color correction because that's what's going to help actually cover the acne. Okay, so the first concealer that we're going to use is in this little palette. It's this green concealer. I know you're probably like, green concealer? What? But it will work. And they have like, I know that NYX, and actually I have it, but I'm not going to be using it today just because I'm just going to be using this palette. That way I don't have to use much stuff. But this is from NYX, and it's not too expensive. And so you can get this in just its own little concealer thing. But I'm just going to be using this and a concealer brush, and it's just really flat and dense and small, nice, perfect size. So concealer brush. I'm gonna go into that concealer, and then I like to kind of like blend it onto my hand, sort of. That way it's not all on the brush at the same time. And it's gonna go where you see redness or pimples, or even like rosacea too. And you just gotta put it on the skin there, and like blend it. You wanna like blend it out. So just use your finger, use the warmth of your finger to kind of like blend it out. Okay, so at this point, this should have made a huge difference in the amount of redness. And you don't, when you're doing like with color correction concealers, you don't want to blend away all of the color. Like you still want to have like, I guess like a pale looking green. Like you don't want to blend it into where you're back to where you started. And so, because the green is what's actually covering the red, because the green counteracts the red. So you just kind of want to blend it out so that it's not just like a dot of green. Just you can see it's blended out, but you can still see the green. So make sure it's all even. And then you're going to take another color. Well, I'm going to take another concealer brush to do this too, by the way. It's a different concealer brush. Pretty much the same thing though. And we're going to conceal under eye circles. And I'm going to be using this kind of like peachy. I don't know if you can see how peachy it is, but it's like a peachy color here. Get closer. There we go. Like peachy. And I'm actually going to be mixing these two together. This is a darker peach and a lighter peach, so two peachy colors. So again, using this finger, because this is the gentle finger, this is the finger that you always want to use, this finger, thank you, when you're working with anything around your eyes, because you always want to be really, really gentle. So, okay, so now any under eye circles that we might have had are now gone, and, okay, now they're gone and blended in and everything. I don't know why I just made that face. That was a really weird and scary looking face, and I'm sorry that you had to witness that. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our concealer for our acne. It's like I used a different brush because I didn't want any green going in my eye because that will only make any under eye circles worse. So I just wanted to make sure that I stayed completely clear of that green color. So I'm gonna go back to our concealer palette, and I'm going to be using this skin color concealer. It's like a it's kind of pale, but it's not too pale, and it's kind of warm because I have warmer undertones. So grab your concealer brush, dip it in, again, blend it on your hand, and then go in those places where you put the green and try to kind of like cover the green and blend it into the rest of the skin. Okay, so now the green is a little more blended in and hidden better. So that's that for concealer. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your liquid foundation, and you're just going to put a really thin layer of liquid foundation over all of your skin to kind of help everything blend together and cover any like places that you missed. So you're going to take a foundation brush, nice and flat, any foundation brush, and I'm just going to I like to put a little bit on my palm, that way I don't end up with too much to work with, and again, do that same thing. Just blend it out on your palm, or the outside of your hand, whatever that is. Because you want just like a really thin, even layer. And with a foundation brush, you basically want to use it like a paintbrush. You're just painting it on with like these little strokes. But you'll notice that it'll leave kind of like a streak. And so I like to kind of like press it into the skin where that streak was left, and then that blends it in and makes it look not so streaky. Okay, so at this point, your acne and any other blemishes that you have should be completely covered. So, yeah, then you're just gonna finish off with a little dusting of powder. But, you want to kind of let your foundation dry for like a few minutes, so, you might could like go ahead and start doing your eyeshadow or start filling out your eyebrows or whatever you need to do to let your face dry a little bit. Okay, so once your foundation has dried some, you're just going to take any translucent powder, or even a powder that's colored, but just make sure that it's your skin tone or the same skin tone as the foundation you used. But what I'm going to be using is this tone correcting powder from e.l.f. And it's got like yellow, green, blue, and pink. And but once you like put your brush in it and everything, like it turns like translucent, and so I'm just gonna take a really, really soft, super soft brush and just really lightly just dust that on all over. Okay, so now our face is like a perfect canvas, but it's very, very colorless, very colorless. So, in order to bring some color into our skin, we're going to use some bronzer and a little bit of blush. Or more like a lot of blush and a little bit of bronzer. Um, so I'm just going to use, for the bronzer, this is Milani, I think. And it's just the baked bronzer and Solio, I don't know, it's kind of dark, so I don't like to use very much because it's one that I got in the summertime, and I'm not that skin color anymore, so to be a little bit lighter touch with it. But it's kind of like, whoo, okay, it almost fell out. It's kind of shimmery. It's got a lot of different shades in it. So I'm just gonna take a really soft, fluffy angled brush. I'm gonna go, and you can find like the hollows of your cheeks by kind of like sucking your mouth in, like, and then just like follow that line up, but it's basically like just under your cheekbone. So I'm just gonna kind of apply that and blend it out. You also can put it where the sun would also naturally hit, like your forehead, um, your nose, and your chin. And again, blending it out. So you just want to bring a little bit of color into your skin. Okay, so next is blush, and this is blush from e.l.f. Again, really cheap, but I like it. It's called Tickled Pink. That's the color, but it's like a nice warm pink. So you're just gonna get a different brush, or you can use the same brush if you wanted to, just swipe it off. But it's just a fluffy blush brush, and just smile to find the apples of your cheeks, and then just apply it. I like to kind of go in like an upward, outward motion, so it kind of aligns with the bronzer, but you want to blend it into the bronzer, so it's not just like blush, bronzer. Okay, so that's it for blush and bronzer. And the last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna finish off with um, well, I'm going to finish off with HD powder by e.l.f. Here it is. It's like the e.l.f. version of the Makeup Forever HD powder, which I have never used and probably never will. But this works really well, and it's $6, so definitely a steal there. And it's just like super like fine, and it's like really soft, like it feels like baby powder, except for it's like even softer than that. So I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna take just that same fluffy brush that we used for our tone correcting powder, and I'm just gonna dip it in here and kind of swirl it around, and then tap off the excess, and then just go over everything. Okay, so that just like seals in everything and fills out all like the pores and lines that you've got left that haven't been filled, and it just creates like a really soft look and finishes everything off. So that's it for our foundation routine. Um, Everything is covered, as you can see. No more. You see absolutely no redness or pimples or anything. So, um, really easy. I guess there's like a few products involved. There's more than what, some of you would like to use, but they're inexpensive and they do the job. So don't feel like you always have to buy the most expensive products in order for it to work, because it's not that way. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's helpful to anybody with acne. So, yeah, thank you.